Hi. So today we're going to do something different. I've been getting feedback that people are unable to make it through the video, to do a long practice at home, even with somebody talking you through it. And maybe it's because your animals interrupt you or whatever. So this video is called House Yoga. And it's about things that I do every day. I mean, I don't do all of them every day, but I do some of these things every day. And it's not about getting on your mat. It's about doing yoga wherever you are and taking one pose and enjoying it. Now, the beginning part here in my bedroom is about waking up. I didn't just wake up, obviously, but I made my bed for you, which doesn't always happen in the time of coronavirus. So this one is what do you do when you wake up in the morning? Well, you can lie back, because you will be lying back. And you can stretch. You can stretch out your arms and your legs. And you can draw one leg in and hug in. Maybe rotate that leg around. It's just amazing how easy it feels when you're on a mattress that gives a little bit instead of being on a mat that's on the floor. Go the other way and hug back in again. Stretch out through the opposite leg. Really get long on the side that's not pulled back. And then switch. Inhale and exhale and hug in. Reach out through the extended leg and draw circles. With your knee. And go the other way. And hug in again. Inhale and reach out. Reach through your fingers, reach through your feet. For some of you, you're too long for this, but I can do it. But you're making this up anyway. So another thing I really like to do is bring one leg back and draw the knee toward the mattress. Try to get the heel right over the knee if you can. So it's not this, although it can feel good. You're trying to get the heel right over the knee. This is lying down lunge pose. So when you're lunging, one foot is on the floor, making a right angle with the knee, and the other leg is stretched out behind you. Now you can take your hand onto your foot maybe and draw that foot toward the knee, toward the bed. And then you're going to stay for a while. And as you stay, you're relaxing in that hip joint that is of the bent knee side, and you're stretching out through the other leg and keeping the back of the thigh on the stretched out leg, working toward the bed. And look at that, my thigh is touching the bed, and that's not true when I'm on the floor, hard floor. Take a breath in and stretch back out. Lots of length before you go to the other side. And then drawing the other knee back, putting the foot up into the air, heel right over the knee. And as you exhale, you're bringing the knee closer to the bed. And on the other side, on the extended leg side, you're taking the leg toward the bed. And then we're going to stay here a while. You might be holding on to the back of the leg, or you may be holding on to the calf or the ankle or the ball of the foot. And breathing and seeing if you can let go a little bit in that hip joint. And then happy baby pose. Bring both legs back and take the knees down. And then stretch out. And coming back and relaxing. Now, there are other poses I like to do in the bed. And I'm not going to go through them all today, but I like to do the extended leg with the leg turned out and hold on to the big toe and reach out. Keeping the opposite hip down and coming in the direction of the foot. So when you turn the foot out, wherever it points, that's the direction you're going. Not way out here, but when I take my leg up, I can turn out that far. So that's the direction I go. And you would of course do the other side. So as I say, we're not going to do that today in terms of actually staying with it. But you could work on that. That's one of the things you could do in the bed before you wake up. Another one, if you like, is Ekapada Rajakapatasana, the king pigeon pose, where the leg is bent in front of you and the opposite leg is back behind you. This is a nice pose to do in the bed. And as I say, we're not going to stay in that, but those are a couple of ideas. I probably would not do something like bridge pose. I don't do bridge pose in bed because you really want that solidness for your shoulders to anchor. You don't want to be all inky in your neck, all over flexible in your neck. All right, and another thing you can do is sit cross-legged and meditate. A lot of people say, don't meditate in your bed because you'll fall asleep. But I find it's really a nice place to meditate. Just pull the old pillow up underneath your buttocks and sit and enjoy. All right, I don't know how well you're going to see this, but suppose you're in your kitchen and you're cooking your chai, and it's going to take 20 minutes to make this chai. 10 of those minutes just waiting for it to enhance the flavors of it. So I am all ready. I need to see that. I am all ready with my cup, and I'm cooking my chai. And, what are you going to do? If you leave the room, you might forget you left it on. I mean, I can always set the timer. So, how about some yoga? So we could do triangle pose with one hand on the counter and, setting up and moving the hips. And it's like you've got a wall, you're bumping up against the edge of the counter or the drawers. And you reach out along the counter. And that keeps that underside really long. And then you roll the shoulder back and reach the arm up. And you're in triangle pose. If you want to, you can put your hand down. And you've got lots of support. You can get your neck really loose, moving it around. You can close your eyes. You don't have to worry about balance. And you could bring your arm over. Oh, that just feels so good. And it's a triangle moment. Now, how am I going to do the other side? Well, I'm going to put my hips out toward you. Okay. And I do have to watch out a little bit because my stove is hot. So I'll put my hand down on the handle of the stove, of the oven, instead of up on the top. And I'm reaching out as far as I can reach while my hips are going toward you, as far as I can reach them. And roll the shoulder up and back, an arm up in the air. Get the neck nice and loose. Reach across. Oh. And the other arm can come down if I want to. And back up. And breathing. So there's a pose that I might do in the kitchen, that I do often in the kitchen. One I love to do in the kitchen is revolve triangle. So you may have a little trouble seeing me because of the window, but you can see my legs pretty well. And I'm near the arm of the oven again. And I've got my right heel hooked underneath the counter behind me there. And I bend that front knee and I work on pushing off with the front foot and turning. Take a breath in, come back to center. As I exhale, I push off with the front foot, and that back leg against the lower edge of the cabinet there is holding my heel down. And I can reach out even further and reach forward. At the same time, I'm reaching back with the front leg's hip. And we're in revolve triangle. I'm turning toward the center line rather than away from it like we do in triangle. We're turning toward the center line, reaching out long. I can always put my hand down. Now, right now, I would need a prop to get to the floor. So I'm just leaving my hand there. I want to be able to relax, stretch out, turn, and inhaling back up. Ah. And then going to the other side. This time I'm going to use the handle of my refrigerator. So my feet are apart a little bit, right foot a little to the right, left foot a little to the left. My forward foot is the right foot. And I'm taking the right hip back. And as I do, I push into the floor with the foot. And I begin to turn. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, push off with that front foot and turn. Now, as I'm staying in it, I can work my way along the handle of the refrigerator. And I can even push off a little bit. That helps me to anchor even more in that back heel, which the back of the leg is hooked on the lower edge of the cabinet. But I'm also pushing against the kitchen handle, and that draws me back into that back foot and helps me to turn. And you can inhale and raise the arm up if you want, or just put a hand on the hip and roll the hip back. Really opening the front body, lengthening the neck. And inhale, bend the knee, and come back up. So, I think my chai's done. And I'm going to pour it into my cup, my sisterhood cup. Set it back there so I can have a second cup if I want. You can put any poses in there, you know. It helps to have things to hold on to. There's lots of things in a kitchen you can hold on to. Sometimes you have a space where you can reach both the island, for example, and the counter at the same time. And then you can do some balance poses where you've got your hand, one hand on the counter and one hand on the island. I don't know if you can see that, but I have that situation right here. My island, the computer's on the island, and my other hand's on the kitchen counter. And I can work Virabhadrasana too, or I can work tree pose. And I've got a hand on the counter, one hand up. So, happy yoga in your kitchen. Have fun with it. Love you. Bye. Yum. Yum, 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 yum. Okay. So we are
now up on my upper balcony, and we're going to do balcony yoga, banister yoga. And actually, you could do these things also in the kitchen or at a counter or at a table or at a chair. And the first one is Padangusthasana. And we're going to take the leg, and put it up on the banister. Now, this may not work for you. It might be a little bit too high. If it is, just take a chair and put your leg on the chair seat or on the chair back. This is just where I like to do it. And this is Padangusthasana, and we are stretching out the back of the leg. Now, eventually we're going to fold toward the leg and really stretch it out more. But right now, we just want to find what height is it comfortable for me to put my leg? So if you feel down the back of your leg, just take your hands and run them from the hip toward the back of the knee. You may feel some bumpy parts, some tight parts, some sore parts. You don't want to have it be pain. There's no tearing or anything like that. And you can take your hands and just run them down the back of the leg toward the knee. And that soothes the fibers of the muscles so that they're relaxing a little bit more and the fibers are settled in to the muscles. And you're looking for this to relax a little bit in the back there. You don't want to feel it right at the knee. You don't want to feel it at the sit bone, either one. If so, you're up too high. You need to get a chair and put your foot on the chair maybe. And, you know, this may not be luscious for you, but it is for me. So as this begins to relax more and more, I can bring my hands a little closer to the leg or to the banister and begin to fold in the hip joints, not rounding the back like this, but rather bringing the back toward the front and going into it a little more deeply. And now I begin to feel it again in the middle of the back of the leg. I'm going to soothe it a little bit by rubbing from the hip toward the back of the knee. And I'm going to just breathe into the back of the leg. Feel the hip relaxing and folding if I can. The foot is flexed back toward the knee, toward the hip. And then when you're ready, you can bring that leg down and bring the other leg up. So I'm trying to settle in where my downward leg is right underneath the hip. I'm finding a level where I can have the upward leg be relaxing. It needs to soften and relax more and more and more. This soothing technique of brushing the muscles from the buttocks toward the knee it's a massage technique. I think it's called feathering. And the leg is relaxing more and more. The toes are pulled back toward the hip. And you're relaxing into being in this position. Breathing. We really would like this leg to be straight if we can. So it might be that you've got your foot on a stool or on the seat of a chair. and you're folding in the hip joint. Folding more and more into that hip joint. If it gets tight again in the back of the leg, give it its little brushing. You don't want to feel it on the inside of the knee. You don't want to feel it on the outside of the knee. You don't want to feel it in the back of the knee. If you feel those things, you're just going a little bit too far. Back off. This is supposed to be enjoyable. And then breath in and come back. And relax. Shake out. Do a little stretching that is of the symmetrical type, where you're doing the same thing right and left. And then relax. So, another pose which is nice for the banister, and you could have your hand on a chair, you could have your foot on a chair, is Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. So half moon pose, got 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and you're going to raise that back leg up and either bring it against the railing or even up to the railing. You don't want the inside of your knee to hurt. You can put your hand on a chair or on a stool or on a block. You're trying to have that downward hip, legs hip be right over the ankle. And you could put the leg on the banister, or maybe you have a chair back there and you land the chair, the foot on the chair. And you use the downward hand to open up and roll the shoulders back. If it's too tight on the inside of your downward leg's knee, you're going to put your hand at a higher level. You need a higher chair. And maybe the arm comes up over the shoulder. Maybe the arm comes over the ear. And we're in Ardha Chandrasana with support from that downward arm, with support from the railing. And we'll do the other side. Right? Yes. Feel like I was on this side already. No, I wasn't. All right. All right. There you go. Legs back there. You're right over your hip. Before I had my hand on a chair seat, but now my arm is reaching out. I could put my hand down on the leg. I can hold on to the banister, and the arm goes up and over my head. Rolling back. I could even put my head on the banister. And then when you're ready, come back up again. So for some of you, that will sound like fun. For others, it will seem extreme. So let's do a standing pose from a chair that makes the pose a whole lot easier. And you're just sitting around enjoying yourself, and all of a sudden you decide, I think I'll do this pose. So this is tell you in a minute. It's a side angle stretch. So we're going to be starting from the very front edge of the chair. And we're going to go a little bit toward the right and turn the right leg out. So as little of the leg is on the chair as possible, but the whole buttock is on the chair. Then the other leg, the left leg, stretches out in front. And we're going to notice how the inside edge of the right knee feels. It should be very comfortably resting over its knee and pointing toward the middle of the foot. If it's not, you can move your foot a little bit toward that front foot. You can move your left foot a little bit toward the front foot. If it is comfortable and it's not being pulled toward the screen, then you could walk that leg out a little bit more. And you could form a straight leg with the back leg. The left heel is as far to the left as you can comfortably go and not lose the positioning of the right knee over the ankle. Then we inhale up with the right arm, and the right ribs go down close to the right thigh, and you use the right arm to pull back. And you've got what feels like a nice straight line from the heel of the front of the back leg, the left leg, up to the hip, up to the shoulder. And we're going to inhale up with that left arm and reach out toward the right. Now you may be able to go lower. You might be able to get to the floor. You don't want to round up in the upper rib cage in order to do that. Or you might be able to put your hand on a block and use that to open up and turn. But just being up here with the arm on the elbow is far enough. You don't have to get extreme about it. And then coming back again. And then we'll go to the other side. So, left leg has the knee over the ankle and the knee pointing down the middle of the foot. Right leg stretches out, and you see how this inner knee of the left leg feels. If it's comfortable, you're just going to leave it there. If it's not comfortable, you're going to walk your foot to the left so that you're not going as far to the to the right with that foot. If you're comfortable with it, you can walk that foot to the right and turn the foot in. And then inhale up with the left arm. And as you exhale, the left ribs come close to the left thigh. You might be able to come all the way down on this side. I can come all the way down. But you might have your left elbow on the thigh. And I think I'm going to do that. I just want this to be easy and comfortable. And then I'm going to reach up with my right arm, and it goes up and over, and a straight line from the heel to the hip to the shoulder. Actually, it's not quite going that way because you can't get that right leg all the way out as far as you could if you were off of the chair. But anyway, it still feels like you're getting a lot of stretch from the heel to the hip and the hip to the heel and from the hip to the fingertips. And you could look up if you want. So it's not this. It's a real stretch all the way to the fingertips. Keeping that knee on the left aligned with its ankle and breathing and enjoying the breath. And coming back again. And coming back to center. And relaxing. Now, I hope you understand that I'm not suggesting that these are the poses you should do, or that all during this class you would be doing all the same poses I was doing. I'm just saying that you can take poses and adapt them to the furniture you have, the structures you have, and you can use that as props so that you can really relax while you're doing a pose. And it doesn't have to be part of a whole routine, of a whole practice, and yet it can just feel so good. So these are some of the things I really like to do. Some of them you'll like to do. Some of them you won't like to do. But look at what poses you might be able to work on. And also remembering that if you do a pose that you think you don't like, and you do it in a way that you have the support you need in order to do it, and you can relax in it, you might start to love that pose. So I will invite you to sit right now and go inward and look at how you feel. Look at your inner environment, your emotional environment, your mental environment. If nothing else, you should have gotten a laugh once in a while at this video. The breath comes, the breath goes. Let's send some loving kindness towards ourselves, wishing that we might feel safe and happy and at peace. Wishing that we might feel well of body and mind and heart. And that we might be at ease with the conditions of our lives, no matter what they might be. And we wish this for all beings everywhere, that all beings might feel safe and happy and at peace. Free from suffering and the roots of suffering.